This is Hal Price with old Eli Bear behind here. Eli's just kind of looking out the window, hoping he can catch back up with his mom and his 8 brothers and sisters sometime really soon. This is this is the book that we found that Eli's mom had just put out. It's called Eli Bear Behind Meet Grandpaw Droopy Drawers, the Teddy Years. So this is a 2-part story that we found that his mom wrote. We're going to tell you more about this one in just a minute, but let me read you what she said to you, Eli, okay? In a sleepy town called Bear Ridge, not far from Tennessee, where hills rolled into mountains far as the eye could see, there was a lovely mama bear whose record there still stands for having 9 bear cubs at once. It tripled her demands. But Bear Memorial Hospital, whose infant wing was great, just couldn't hold those 9 bear cubs. They had just room for 8. I know, Eli, you remember that. So Mama Bear sent her 9th cub to another infant wing, and in her haste to get back home, she did the darndest thing. She left poor Eli in his crib. It must have slipped her mind, and once at home she realized she'd left Eli behind. She hurried back to get him. For 3 days he'd been there, but Eli left to find his mom, a sad, determined bear. He snuck out before daybreak without a map or plan. He only took his fuzzy hat and some honeyberry jam. So this is where our journey starts, a young bear all alone, with a mother who just writes and prays to guide her young son home. So here's the note she wrote you, Eli. She wrote you a very special little note here that said, "Dear Eli, I'm so sorry that I left you at the baby hospital. I had a lot on my mind that day with 9 cubs. Please forgive me. By the time I got back to pick you up, you had escaped out the window. We looked for you for hours, and I will start looking again in the morning, but while it's dark, I will pray that you will find your way home, and I will write you each and every night. I want to tell you how special you are, Eli, okay? And all about your loving family and our history. Here's the story about your great-grandpa Droopy Drawers and his magical hat that I left for you in the hospital in your nursery crib. See, you're wearing it now. So they're with you always, okay? So she said, I'll start with your great-grandpa. They called him Droopy Drawers. He once was stung 6,000 times in the great bee-bumbled wars. Your great-grandpa's a hero here. His story is known through town. His legend grows by word of mouth, so I thought I'd write it down. Droopy's oldest child was Mildred. She was my mom. She born back in '38. She was my mom, and just like me, she thought her dad was great. Now, I was born in Bear Ridge in 1973. Mom named me Ruth, and I have proof she had me naturally. Eli, you're my 9th bear cub, born January 12th. I put old Droopy's fuzzy hat inside your crib myself. He wanted you to have it because you're my last born. I'll tell you all about it now and why it should be worn. You've never taken it off, have you? Ever? No, never taken it off. Ever since he was born, he's had the hat. So here we go. Here's your story. Dear Eli, there's so much to share about your family. Let's start with your great-grandpa and his rich history. Now, Droopy was my mother's dad, a bear of simple needs, raised down in Mississippi in a town the folks call Smedes. He always wore big overalls. He found near Yazoo City. A railroad worker left them there, and they didn't fit real pretty. See his jeans here, guys? Let's see. There's his little jeans. They're dropping a little bit, and these are the railroad workers that I can get it. No, I can't. Those are the railroad workers over in Yazoo City, just so you know. So his overalls had just one strap, and it was rather loose, and every time Droop tried to run, he showed off his caboose. Those railroad jeans didn't stay up, buddy. His friends all made fun of his jeans. They fell when he did chores. And one day Emma Big Claws called him Hot Lips Droopy Drawers. So many kids get nicknames, some fun and some that hurt. But Droopy liked his special name, 'cause Emma was a flirt. And Droopy Drawers set off one day to hunt for food to eat. But this November, while he searched, he got in trouble deep. Okay? Here's his little girlfriend. That's your grandpa's first girlfriend. Her name is Emma Big Claws. While munching on some berries, a mix of black and blue, he heard some hounds from all around. The year 1902. Old Droopy dropped his berries there and soon began to run. He saw some hunters coming near, and each one had a gun. Okay? The hounds all chased him through the woods. He ran like melted cheese. But it was hard to run real far with pants down past your knees. The hounds chased him for hours. He ran from day till night. They cornered him, and he played dead. He had no strength to fight. Here's Droopy running from the hounds. Run, Droopy Drawers, run. They were after him. You see him jumping the fence to catch up with him. The hunters hit the young, scared cub and tied him to a tree. They told him he should rest a while and wait for company. What Droopy didn't know that day, he was to be the prize for a hunting U.S. president who was almost twice Droop's size. As Droop prepared himself to fall, he said a great bear prayer that his life would be saved that day by a hunter who might care. And as the hunters came towards Droop, he lowered his head down and prayed beneath that great big tree that held him tight and bound. The man they all then a man they all called Teddy said, "I just can't shoot that bear. He doesn't have a sporting chance, and I don't think that's fair." He reached for poor old Droopy then and offered him his cup. And then he smiled and told his friends, "Men, pull his britches up." And Teddy asked the frightened bear, "What is this name of yours?" And Droopy smiled and hugged the man and told him, "Droopy Drawers." "I love that nickname, Droopy. They call me Rough and Ready. And some folks call me President, but you can call me Teddy." See where Teddy had the chance to shoot the bear, but he didn't do that? So he was tied to the tree. That was your grandpa tied to the tree, and they didn't shoot him. But also, they put a special marker there where Teddy Roosevelt was hunting your great-grandpa Droopy Drawers in Smeads, Mississippi on November the 14th, and he wouldn't shoot him. And I'm going to tell you something here, Teddy. You need to understand this. That was a very special event in the history of bears, okay? Then Teddy's friends were ordered to release him from that tree, and stories grew about how Teddy set that young bear free. See, Droopy's life was spared that day by a man whose heart he'd felt, and Droopy heard all men call him Teddy Roosevelt. And in our nation's capital, the press was made aware of a president's compassion for the one called Teddy's bear. And from a cartoon drawn one day in print for all to see, the teddy bear was given life to keep kids company. See where Teddy and the bear were pictured together? And here's Teddy with his own little teddy bear later on by a man from Brooklyn who designed the very first teddy bear. We're going to stop for now because something happens to Teddy Roosevelt where Droopy's able to help him now. See how one good turn deserves another? Stay tuned, and if you can, stay awake. Droop, stay awake. We got another story, okay? All right. We'll be right back. Bye-bye.